Hello YouTube. I'm back with another code tutorial here, and this is Jay Coder here. And also, I began this tutorial last time with Jetpack Compose, and we went over an application here, a little chat application here that we have been going over. And so we actually left off at the section create a list of messages. And so I'm going to go ahead and continue on from that. And if you have not seen the first part of the tutorial yet, please go ahead and visit this link. I'm going to go ahead and post that in the chat so that everyone can be able to know. And so also, I recorded this particular part before, which I had some technical difficulties. So I let you guys know that so that you will not be confused, because I already finished the application. So I'm going back over it for you guys so that you can see what I did to complete the application, and so that you can also be able to follow along on your own environment. I have it on Android Studio. So, and I'm following this code lab from the official developer.android site. And so we're gonna be going on and continuing from there. And so, all right, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Comment on this video, like it, and do all that cool YouTube stuff. And yeah, stick around if you like tutorials about software development, Android development, and technology, things like that. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. And I'm going to go ahead and mute the music here. Alright, so, alright, and let's continue on. So we left off here, create a list of messages. A chat with one message feels a bit lonely, so we are going to change the conversation to have more than one message. You'll need to create a conversation function that will show multiple messages. For this, use composes lazy column and lazy row. These composables render only the elements that are visible on screen, so they are designed to be very efficient for long lists. In this code snippet, you can see that lazy column has an items child. It takes a list as a parameter, and its lambda receives a parameter we've named message. We could have named it whatever we want, which is an instance of message. In short, this lambda is called for each item of the provided list. Copy the sample data into your project to help bootstrap the conversation quickly. Okay, so basically, they want us to use the sample data. It's a Kotlin file they actually have for us here. And I'm going to actually go ahead and post this in the chat so that you all that don't have the, for you all that don't have it, you can access it. So let's go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and go to the OBS. Then I'm going to go ahead and copy, or I got to copy the link from that really quick. It says copy link address. All right. Now I'm going to go back to the OBS actually, and I'm going to go ahead and paste that for you guys so that you guys can see that here. Boom. All right. Perfect. Now, let's go back to our Android Studio. Or not, I'm sorry, not our Android. Yeah, our Android Studio. So, once you download the sample data file, you should look like this. And so it's an object with a list of message. And message is a data class that takes an author and a body. And so these conversation samples are pre-populated conversations that we will load into our message list and display them on the screen so that we can have a good representation of what a full-fledged chat conversation would look like in this actual example. And it says so now with this added to our um, to our application, let's see. So you would need to change the code in order to do that, where they have this code uh, with the function conversation, which takes in the list of messages and then displays them in a message card in a lazy column. And so in our Android Studio, we have in our main, so see here we have the function conversation here, and also we preview the conversation as well. So remember, this preview isn't the actual application running. It's a kind of a dynamically updated preview that we see in the design window inside our Android Studio. So right here is a preview of our conversation. And so inside our preview, so we have, the preview conversation here. And so this is what it looks like in light and dark mode. And that's what a single card looks like. And so yeah. And so it says, oh yeah. Oh, okay. And also, when you copy your data, go ahead and actually copy it into your project. You can drag and drop it into the com.sample.compose tutorial folder here. And so, we already created this class message last time, so it already knows what that is going to be. And conversion sample, we have the conversion sample method. And so inside the code, we call that here, right? So we have a method called conversation, and then we add that in there. So And this is our conversation that takes in the list and displays a lazy column of the items. And then each item is a message card. And then this is our message card, our individual messages card, and the code for it. And so with composables, is you can easily split up your UI into several parts. You notice that everything is not in one function. It's a good practice to split up your functions into different pieces to make it more manageable. All right, so let us go on. So now they want us to animate messages while expanding. The conversation is getting more interesting. It's time to play with animations. You will add the ability to expand a message to show a longer one, animating both the content size and the background color to store this local UI state. You need to keep track of whether a message has been expanded or not. To keep track of this state change, you have to use the functions remember and mutable state of. Composable functions uh, can store local state in memory by using remember. Add track changes to value passed to multiple state of. Composable Composables and their children using this state will get redrawn automatically when the value is updated. This is called recomposition. By using composer state APIs like remember and mutable state of, any change to state automatically updates the UI. Note you will need to add the following imports to correctly use by Alt plus Enter adds them for you. And yeah, also I want to stress that double check that when you add new code and import the necessary imports, make sure that the imports are correct because sometimes, and sometimes they might not even import by themselves. So make sure that's there or you'll have to track down some errors that might be hard to understand because it's just simply missing an import. Sometimes it's not, exactly clear that the import is missing and sometimes, you just have to double check. So anyway, it wanted us to of course add this code, the conversation call, and then down here, it wanted us to add this code is expanded by remember, and this column add this column code to check is expanded, and then this text body code here. Um, this is also to basically, show all of the message if expanded, and if not, do not show all of the message, but show the first line. So, in our Android Studio, to kind of show that is, this code is the completed code, but basically we're adding a check to see if it is expanded. We have this new variable here is expanded. And so, and we're making this column clickable. So basically, we're toggling the is expanded if it's clicked. If it's not expanded, we change is expanded to true or false. Basically, if it is expanded, we change it to the opposite of what it is. So it toggles off and on, when we actually click that area, click this column, and then basically this we have this code here that shows, if is expanded, then show everything. If it's not expanded, then show one line. Is essentially what that is saying. And so basically, for a demonstration, we will see that when we, like for instance, when we click one of these, it expands and shows everything. When we click again, it reduces it to only one line. So we just added that functionality, and yeah, and it animates too. Whereas, it's a split second, but of course, it's animating. But anyway, let's go back to our lesson. And I'm going to go ahead and close that guy for now. And it says, now you can change the background of the message content based on is expanding. Let me just check. All right. Looks like things are still good. Where all right, now you can change the background of the message content based on is expanded. When we click on the message, you will use the clickable modifier to handle click events on the composable. Instead of just toggling the background color of the surface, you will animate the background color by gradually modifying its value from material theme.color theme.surface to material theme.color theme.primary and vice versa. To do so, you will use the animate color as state function. Lastly, you will use the animate content size modifier to animate the message container size smoothly. Alright, so we have these two imports for what we want to add. And then, so essentially, when we click it, we want the color to also change. And so this is the code that handles the color change. So down here, we have the val surface color by animate color as state. And basically, if it's expanded, use the primary color. If not, then use the regular surface color. And then down here is, where we set the surface color. And then, so this up here determines the surface color, and then it sets the surface color, and then right here is where we actually set the surface color, and then we have the modifier here where we add the animate content size, and so the padding is 1 dp. So yeah, so that's what we're adding. It will change the surface size gradually. And so All right, so let us go back to our Android Studio. And then basically, this is where we added that line that sets the color and um, animate color as state. And so basically, it sets, it animates and sets the color. And so here's where the color was determined and set. And so yeah, that's what we added. And of course, when we play it, you'll see that when we click it, it does, a little animation, and it changes from a grayish color to white. So, like for instance, so when I click this, see how the the color, it looks like it, if it slows down, the color, expands uh gradually downward, but it all happens in like a split second. But anyway, that code allowed the color to change from white to this this gray color. All right, now let's go on. And next steps, congratulations. You finished the Compose tutorial. You've built a simple chat screen efficiently showing a list of expandable and animated messages containing an image and text, designed using material design principles with a dark theme included, and previews all in under 100 lines of code. Here's what you've learned so far: defining composable functions, adding different elements in your composable, structuring your UI component using layout composables, extending composables by using modifiers, creating an efficient list, keeping track of state and modifying it, adding user interactions on a composable, and animating messages while expanding them. And if you want to dig deeper on some of these steps, explore the resources below. All right, so yeah, so under 100 lines of code, we've pretty much built a pretty robust looking user interface for a chat. So just so you guys can see, so when you are done, it should look like this. And so, it's a one person talking to the void, but you know, you can see how this is a good template foundation for an actual messaging app. And apparently, it's under 100 lines of code using Jetpack Compose. So there you go. And you have like the user with the circular shape. And in other platforms, to get the circular shape, you have to play around with the um, circle radius, the round corner radius. And so basically with this, it's built in, so it makes it a lot easier to do. It was a composed shape that was built in to make that circle, which is a popular profile shape these days, a profile pic shape these days. And so, all right, guys. So that's actually all that I have for you all today. And stay tuned for more tutorials in the future. Please subscribe to this channel. And hope you all learn something and continue to always stay coding. All right.